Even when they say, ignore your feelings, your thoughts, just be present, you might still be caught up in thought, in feeling, or in something. The idea that we can disconnect, it's maybe an illusion. Because when you're not connected, you feel disconnected. When you're connected, sometimes you feel like you're connected way too much. And that is overwhelming and you can't really take it. So how do we balance connecting, disconnecting? If even when you feel like disconnected, you're still craving for something, you still feel like there's something missing, and then you're ultimately reaching for something that you think you don't have it, that you need it. Like, for example, right now I feel the heaviness of my body, not because I'm carrying a backpack full of stuff that I'm taking with me as I walk and do this talk, but because my body feels the heaviness of like what life has done to me, right? Like maybe it's just emotional stress or like mental stress from trying to resolve things and trying to change things and trying to like pursue things. Is it all worthy? Honestly, I'm questioning that now, because it's like when you're really not searching or seeking or pursuing something, then it's like you can ultimately just not do anything. And when you don't do anything, you still feel like you should be doing something, because your body is conditioned to be always on the go. So you try to sleep, but your mind might feel a bit uneasy, or feels like there's like something like, that you can't really achieve. And this battle between light and darkness seems to continue to play out, because we're always attracting things. So as I'm attracting an experience, and there's a part of me judging whether this feels good or not, then I'm blocking the experience, ultimately blocking also the final outcome that this experience itself was supposed to be for me. So by letting go of your desires, wants, and needs, what are you left with? So like, if I've reached a point where I realized that having much of this and much of that is not really what true happiness means, then what am I left with to do? Then you may say, just live life. And I think that's the best answer, because it's like, okay, just live life. Accept everything that comes your way. Surrender completely. Yes, you didn't have the relationship you wanted, or at least you had for some time, and you felt so good that you wish it would still go on, that things would get better, and those feelings and emotions that the relationship was generating would continue to arise. But it didn't happen. You learned. What did you learn? What can you do with these lessons? Well, they can be applied on the next one. You can be more gentle with your words. You can be more mindful with who you pick. You can make sure at the beginning that there is no doubt or certainty. Then you can continue to go on without always questioning yourself whether you should be with this person or not. So that's fine, because it doesn't mean that something you had, you no longer have it, has ended, that you won't ever have it again, right? But it does mean that something that has ended won't ever be the same anymore. It's over. You accept it, you move on, and that's it. It's true that you couldn't really understand so well what all of that was supposed to teach you, or why things would work out in a way and then it would work out in a different way. Like, you have all these different perceptions of like why you think this person would treat you nicely sometimes and would treat you poorly in another. Or like have you been in a relationship where you feel like you were treated like a queen, and half of the time you treated like a queen, the other half of the time you treated like a dog? Maybe there's a dog and a queen in you. And you can call the dog like the thinking mind, right? That part of you that wants to just jump from one thing to the next, that has no awareness whatsoever of itself. And that part continues to play out and destroy things. And it's not because that part is meant to destroy things, it's just because that part has no control of itself. So you have to tame it. And by resisting that thing, you're resisting what life is sending your way. But of course, it's easier said than done, because when you feel triggered, you want to scream out loud, you want to say mean things to the other person and everything. And when the reactivity and the triggers end, life begins. Because now you're just accepting every fucking thing that comes your fucking way. And that's okay. Right? Like, there are times where you feel like in doubt, then you leave it. Don't act upon it, or act upon it and be okay with the consequences. There are times where we do things out of despair, and I know I've done that quite a lot. I was in despair because I needed more, so I got more. And I not only got more of what I wanted, but I got more of the stress and the consequences of the thing, of choosing that thing I wanted to have. But hey, if I stop wanting, seeking, and needing, what am I left with? Do I really just keep going with the flow without trying to take control of my destiny and setting up a freaking plan that will ultimately bring me somewhere? I've tried doing that. Like they said, take control of your life. So okay, here I am taking control of my life, saying no to certain things, saying yes to certain things, because when you are in control, you are essentially making choices all the time, right? But then they also say, let go of control, accept all that comes your way. That's the true path to freedom and liberation. I've done that too, but I realized that I was also taking way too much that was not bringing me forward, but was bringing me backwards, or was bringing me drama, or was bringing me, let me rethink this for a second. Actually, that was times where I did accept that thing that was coming my way, and I didn't judge the experience. And yes, there were like things that I felt and made me feel like judging the experience. But what if I hadn't judged that experience? Would then this matter? Would then this had affected my psychic, my conscience, my state of mind, body, and soul, and my sanity? Maybe not. But when you eat the apple and you learn how to discern good and bad, that's the freaking disease. That's where misery begins, because now you start to say no to a lot of shit. You start to resist, because they also tell you that you need to resist. Well, they tell you resist, but they also tell you surrender. So this duality of thoughts are present at the same time in space, and they keep playing in your psychic. That's why you feel confused. That's why there are times where you feel like you want to go right, and times where you want to go left. So maybe if I let go of loving life way so much, then now I'm a little detached, and it feels like I'm indifferent, that I'm not really living my life, and that maybe will create perceptions of others that I'm a ghost. And then what? What if I decide to become a ghost and just leave from a really low state and just decide to put my body to wander around? That's not what I want, but I'm just giving an example. Like, everyone here on this planet is gifted, talented, and designed for greatness. What they have to go through sometimes is necessary for them to grow, is necessary for them to find tranquility, inner peace, self-love. So let them do whatever the love they want. I've never seen myself cursing, by the way, so many times. But hey, look at that. Look at me judging my own speech. That's how it goes, right? That's the play that kind of keeps going on. That our mission is to put an end to it. You know, this relationship didn't work. I'm sorry. Do you want to blame me, who was like on the back of your head saying shit and trying to move you away from it? Fine, blame me. But I'm a part of you. You have to understand that I'm gonna be with you, and if I'm not happy with who you are, with what you're doing, then we're not happy. Then you're not gonna be happy with anybody else, because you gotta be happy with me first. And if you wanna call me the saboteur, if you wanna call me the bad guy, if you wanna call me the plan ruiner, I just made that expression, plan ruiner, somebody who ruins plans, plan ruiner. God, is that even a word? I'm not sure. Anyhow, this is it. I think I've thrown way too much on you for this one.